Say hi, Luna. Say hello. This is Luna, my lovely new dog, who I officially adopted about, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks ago. But I've had her since just before Christmas. I was looking after her originally, and well, it's hard to explain, but she was in a difficult situation basically, and needed a home. She loves sitting under my desk while I'm trying to work, so I can't. Okay, right. Oh, yeah. Right under the wheels of my chair. Yeah, she's a lovely girl though. She's really, really beautiful. She's roughly 8 years old. We don't know exactly. I'm sharing her with my ex. We're going to look after her together. Sort of like divorced parents. She kind of needed a new home, basically. I wasn't planning on getting a dog, but I just love her so much. She's amazing, and we both really love her. And so yeah, we decided to keep her. It's been kind of a crazy journey. So yeah, I can't sit quite as comfortably as I normally would because she's under my desk right now. Normally I would just move her, but she's being very sweet. Yeah, I'll put some pictures up on the screen of her. She's amazing. She's like, the nicest dog I've ever met. She's really curious and kind of open-minded and trusting and smart, and just a really, really, really lovely dog. I didn't plan on getting a dog. I certainly didn't plan on having a long-haired dog that leaves fur everywhere, which she does. But yeah, once I had spent a few days with her, it was just like, I don't know, yeah. I just really love her. She's really funny and interesting. She's a really unusual dog. Like, I've had quite a few dogs over the years and been around a lot of dogs, but she's a really special dog. She's really unusual and funny and interesting. And we think of her sort of as like an 8-year-old puppy in a way, because even though she's 8, she's like, a lot of things seem new to her, and to us she's new to us, and she's having a lot of kind of new experiences, and it's just been really nice. And it's made me think a lot about my definition of happiness. Not my definition of happiness, but I guess how I've been thinking about the idea of happiness for the last, I don't know how long. I mean, especially since I've started doing these videos and this book and everything, but like in general. And I guess I've thought of it as a kind of formulaic thing at times. Something, if you like, you kind of like, I don't know. I know a lot of people are their own worst enemy when it comes to happiness. Like, people who just don't sleep, they don't eat properly, they consume like substances that make you feel like crap. I've been that person a lot. And then they wonder why they're unhappy, and they think that it's to do with their circumstances, and really it's to do with like the small choices they make on a day-to-day basis. And I think I've at times gone too far with that mode of thought because I think it's overlooked. And so I've sort of developed this notion that like you can just be happy. You just have to do the right things. You have to just make the right kind of minute choices on a day-to-day level and be healthy, and it's all just like chemicals, and it's just a physical thing, and which is a hypocritical belief in a way, because I've always felt that the culture of medication, antidepressants and SSRIs focuses too much on your mood as a chemical, a purely literal chemical kind of objective, observable thing, and doesn't focus enough on, like kind of nourishing your like spirit or whatever as a human being. So it's also a hypocritical belief that I've had, or that I've espoused, I guess. And I had begun to feel that way at times as well, because I was doing all these things, and making sure to sleep well, eating really well, exercising, taking all these supplements, vitamins, everything else, and I was not happy. I was really depressed, really, really depressed a lot of the time. Sometimes I was fine. Like my energy levels were good, you know, like I was motivated, kind of. I mean, I was doing a lot of videos, a lot of music, working a lot. But I just didn't feel good about life. I felt very lonely and I wasn't myself, and I don't know. At times things were really, really bad. I could quite easily slide into like a very dark place, and I don't want to fool myself into thinking that's like not possible now or something. It definitely is, but yeah, all the things I was doing, it's not to say they were not working, but I don't think those things are enough for most people. For some people, possibly they are, and I still think they're very important, but I don't think for the most part, for most people, I don't think those things, exercise, hydration, supplements, vitamins, all these things, I don't think they're enough to create, you know, a happy life on their own. Because since I got Luna, I haven't been focusing on those things that much. Like I haven't been really on top of all of that, and you know, there's times where I've gone a few nights where I haven't been sleeping well and stuff, and it hasn't mattered. Like, and I've just I've had a feeling of I don't know if optimism is the word, but like just don't know. I don't know. A feeling that there are things that are more important than my immediate kind of physiological state, and like I'm not feeling like I have to be like a robot about everything and monitor everything and maintain everything, and you know, like I don't have to feel kind of like great all the time in order to feel fulfilled or to feel a sense of peace. And there was a long period where we were waiting to find out, like it was pretty unclear whether or not it would be possible to adopt Luna, and I was very, very, very stressed during this period, and I began to see it as a crossroads in my life, which is probably very unhealthy and unhinged, but I felt like if this goes badly, if this doesn't work out, I'm kind of done. Like, not that I was going to kill myself, but I was ready to just give up. I really was like ready to give up, because so many things have been so disappointing, so many bad things have happened, and I just felt like I just can't, like the idea to meet this amazing dog who I love and who clearly like needs a home and who really loves being here, and to have this happy experience, and then to have it kind of taken away, to have it presented as a possibility and then to have it taken away, it would have just been like, in some sense, I think the last straw for me. And again, I think it's probably unhealthy for me to look at it like that, but I was looking at it like that. And on the other side, I sort of thought, like, if this works out, if I'm able to adopt her, I will be eternally grateful. I will just be so grateful and so happy, and you know, it hasn't been that long, but that is how it's been. I felt that way. Like, I felt like every time there's a time where I think like, oh, it's, you know, I've got a walker and I've got things to do and there's a lot I don't care. I just think, oh, fuck it, like that's part of it, that's just part of it, you know, like I sign up for that, and it's a blessing to be able to like hang out with her and take her to the park and have fun and to give her a good quality of life. That's like that's such a gift. I'm so lucky, and And perhaps even if things hadn't have worked out, I should have looked at it in the same way. I should have said, well, I'm still so lucky. And I tried to do that a lot when I was really unhappy. I tried to say, like, I'm really lucky. My life is amazing. Doesn't matter, like, how I feel right now. I'm wrong. Like, my life is really amazing. But I couldn't make that stick. And I think the difference is just having someone or something to love, really. Like, I think it helps as well to be sort of needed, like, you know, like she is really dependent on me. I mean, in the way that any dog is. She's not overly dependent. She's dependent in the way that dogs are dependent on their owners, you know, but they really love you, you know, and rely on you. Which is odd, because that's no matter who you are, really. Like Norm Macdonald has that bit about it, about how Hitler's dog, like, there was a dog that every day woke up and was like, where's Hitler? And was like, you know, running around looking for Hitler. And it's true, like, you know, really. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. It's made me think a lot about that, and how all the things I was convinced I needed to do, and all the things I don't know, like, I don't think there's much that would make me as happy as having this dog around. And I think it's not happiness in the way I'd come to view it, and it's not like doesn't necessarily equate to pleasure. And I think there's a weird Venn diagram where it's like pleasure and kind of fulfillment and happiness is kind of in the middle or something. It's a bit of a muddied concept, because some people think happiness is like eating a Kit Kat and like watching your favourite show. Maybe it is, but if you do that every day, you might still get pleasure out of that. But if you're doing that on your own every day and you're lonely, or you don't know where your life is going, or you feel you don't mean anything, I don't think you could really call yourself happy, even if you're experiencing like pleasure from this. Maybe you have like a really zen outlook on it, but yeah. So I think happiness is something a bit different to just like feeling good. So in that sense, in that more three-dimensional interpretation of happiness, yeah, like I feel really good. I don't know. The language, I think, is one area of thought where languages can sort of fail you a bit. It's not always entirely. What are you doing, Luna? It's not always possible to explain these types of things entirely clearly, I find, specifically this topic. But anyway, yeah, that's why I haven't been making many videos recently. I'm going to start making them again. Also, I got really ill. As soon as the adoption was confirmed, I got incredibly ill. And that was fine. I mean, it was horrible. I was so ill, but it was fine. I was just watching a lot of TV, watching a fucking shitload of Dragon's Den. Probably watched 25 episodes of Dragon's Den and a lot of YouTube clips of Dragon's Den. Yeah, played games. It was good. I really had some actual time off. I didn't do anything productive. I didn't really care. Another thing about having this beautiful doggy around is I'm sleeping like a baby, because I have to walk her twice a day, and they're quite long walks. And I think walking like long walks, I think that is probably the number one way to make yourself tired and to sleep well. In my experience, I noticed this in the past because I used to walk a lot. I never had a car. I didn't like paying for public transport, and I used to be doing like weird errands or weird jobs where I was on foot all day, and I used to sleep so well. I had really low blood pressure back in the day, and recently, since I started focusing a lot more on strength training rather than cardio, and I don't walk around as much, or I wasn't walking around as much before I got Luna, and my blood pressure started to get quite high. Like, I would get into bed and I have like a pounding heart. I don't know, just in general I felt like my blood pressure was getting quite high, having had really, really low blood pressure. And now it's right back down again. And when I get into bed, I basically fall asleep. I don't even remember being in bed. You know, before this, like, I'd be in bed and then I'd remember the next morning. I'd remember being in bed for like an hour and a half awake and all the things I was thinking about and whatever. Now I get into bed and I basically just black out. I just fucking fall asleep like straight away. I don't have to try. I can barely read like 2 pages of a book. I'm just exhausted from walking around with her and everything. So yeah, I mean, if you consider, I knew I wanted a dog. I knew I loved dogs, but I thought there's no way I'm ready to have a dog. I can't have a dog in here. I had all these reasons for it, and it's been really amazing for me, and I think really amazing for the dog. And if you're in a situation where you think maybe you could get one, if you think you'd like a dog, part of what I told myself is like, well, like life is pretty short, you know, and a lot of people my age have kids. And yeah, having a dog might make it a little bit harder time-wise to kind of organise, like, following my goals and all this, but, I mean, it's not that big of a commitment, is it? You know, like I said, people have kids. You've got to have things in your life, you know? I was always waiting, like, oh, when things are right, like, when I've succeeded, when I've got money, when I've, like, I think, in hindsight, that was stupid, because it was just like, I was putting my life on hold. I was waiting, like, when this happens, I will get a dog. When I've got this, I'll get, you know, why, you know? Things are never going to be perfect. You're never going to have the perfect environment. Things are never going to be exactly the way you want it, necessarily. So, yeah, it turned out to be something, an unexpected thing that came into my life, but a really, really good one. And yeah, if you're in a position where you've been contemplating it, like, as long as you think you can care for it properly, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're lonely and whatever, like, having a dog around, especially one who needs a home. You know, there's so many like amazing dogs that need homes, that are living in bad situations or are trapped in a shelter and like a tiny little enclosure, and they need a good home, you know, like, and especially then you can think about it like what are you doing? This dog, for example, she didn't have, I thought, like, I can't get dogs, I don't have a garden and all this stuff. Well, she didn't have a garden anyway. So it's still, her life is really, really good. You know, she's getting a lot of walks. I think she's having the best quality of life that she's had, I don't know, maybe ever. I would say ever. I don't know, because she's been around for 8 years. I don't know all the details of her past, but I think for her, like, she seems that way. She seems like incredibly happy. And, if you get a dog from a shelter, like, even if you don't have a perfect environment for it, even if you don't have like a garden or a big place or whatever else, it's probably much better than being at a shelter. So, yeah, I don't know, if you're on the fence about it, I'd say, like, as long as you do your research and, you know, about the type of dog and whatever else, and you know, you're able to like walk it and stuff, then, yeah, it's a great thing to do. That, much like moving overseas, I wouldn't have done it had my hand not been forced or pushed a little bit. I never would have had the thought to do it, but I'm really glad that I did. I'm really glad that it's happened. And yeah, I'm going to start doing more videos again soon. Get back into it. I'm just kind of out of sync with everything, music, videos, podcast, everything. So yeah, cool. Hope you guys all had a good Christmas. Hope you're doing well. Take care.